a rerun of the Ablekuma North parliamentary elections as it appeals to Parliament to back the police to provide adequate security for collation of the results.
Also coming up, Tema Metropolitan Assembly says it is working with NADMO to provide emergency support to victims of a devastating fire at the industrial area which left over 500 structures destroyed.
Some MPP MPs publicly declared their support for former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's bid to lead the party into the 2028 general elections.
And later in business, financial experts observe challenges remain despite Ghana's economy showing positive growth signs.
In international news, controversial South African opposition MP Julius Malema denied a visa to the UK over inflammatory statements and support for Hamas.
We are live around the world on 3news.com. Be part of the show. Let's hear what you make of the many stories we have for you tonight.
Let's settle for the details. Now, the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey has expressed deep concern over what it describes as inadequate efforts by government in tackling the growing menace of illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey. Convener of the coalition, Kenneth Ashigbe, renewed calls on government to urgently repeal LI 2462, the legal instrument that permits mining activities in forest reserves.
Illegal mining continues to wreak havoc, leaving water bodies polluted and forest reserves depleted, despite ongoing campaigns to curb the practice. As part of renewed efforts to hold government accountable, the Coalition Against Galamsey is demanding the investigation and prosecution of politically exposed persons suspected to be involved in or facilitating illegal mining activities.
We will not accept an amendment that responds to the interests of certain individuals, not taking into account the interests of the nation. The LI 2462 must be revoked, and it's with urgency. The Akumferi confrontation, where the police allegedly shielded Chinese nationals engaged in Galamsey, a disgrace to the entire national security apparatus. We demand an immediate and transparent investigation, with all complicit officers from the district to regional command interdicted and prosecuted. We have, however, observed and condemned resoundingly the alarming pattern of some officials from the ruling NDC being involved in illegal mining.
In a related call to action, convener of the One Ghana movement, Senyo Hosi, has urged citizens to stand up and defend the country's resources from illegal exploitation, describing the fight against Galamsey as a shared national responsibility.
They have captured the state, whether it is NDC or it is MPP. The one reason why President Mahama, I believe, has even shown something small is because of the public pronouncements he made coming into the elections. He has to show that he has done some. But it's a difficult thing, and he himself has admitted it's difficult. If you don't force him, he will not move. If matter comes, a lot of these politicians, they will leave this town. Most of the Ghanaians, you are sitting here. When wahala gas, they will be gone. By what water you will drink, it will be your wahala. They would have made their money out of here, and you will be suffering for the decisions that they have taken. Fight for your future. Fight for your children. Show up. But let them see 1 million people on the streets. But if we continue this way, they'll keep waiting for us to keep talking and talking and talking, and they'll spend the rest of the time discussing things that they think can keep confusing all of us.
The Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey is also calling on government to intensify its efforts and adopt more decisive actions to combat illegal mining across the country.
We demand, 1, that immediate investigations into the case of Honorable Oscar Labi, MP for our win. 2, public disciplinary action by the NDC if any of these allegations are proven. 3, investigations of all mentioned in the Professor Frimpong Boateng report. Finally, transparent prosecution with no political protection We've heard the president say that he will not cover anybody. We need to see that translated into action. The government must intensify its effort in combating Galamsey and refrain from justifying it on the grounds of unemployment and revenue generation.
In a related development, in a bid to intensify the fight against illegal mining, magistrates and judges in the Western Central and Western North regions have been equipped to fully prosecute illegal mining cases. The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Kenneth Ashigbe, believes that the strategic partnership between the Chamber and the judiciary will enable them effectively prosecute illegal mining cases. Irama Smith has more.
The collaboration between the Ghana Chamber of Mines, the judiciary and legal practitioners of the Judicial Training Institute comes amid concerns that many cases involving illegal miners have faced delays or dismissals in court, undermining efforts to curb the destructive practice. Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Kenneth Ashigbe, in his opening address at the training in Takoradi, stated that magistrates and second court judges in the Western, Central and Western North regions were being fully equipped to effectively prosecute illegal mining cases, and that there will be close monitoring to ensure judges handle mining cases with the seriousness they deserve. He also urged miners to regularize their activities.
There's a directive that has been given that all the legislations that they require to be able to do their work is circulated to all of them. So now the argument that they did not know would not be an issue anymore. The explanations would have really been done to them. So the notice has been served to the Galamseyers that now the law would work.
Describing illegal mining as ecocide, Ken Ashigbe emphasized the judiciary's vital role in safeguarding Ghana's environment and development through prompt and effective enforcement of laws on the menace.
When the cases go to court, the right laws are going to be applied in the right way. So it would mean that because now, as His Lordship had said, that they would be watching all these judges, the judges would also be particular about what happens. And everybody would need to know that the laws will work. We have enough laws in this country to be able to regulate this particular canker.
Meanwhile, Justice of the Supreme Court and Director of the Judicial Training Institute, Justice Tanko Amadou, has emphasized the importance of continuous training for judges to keep pace with the numerous legislations and amendments governing the mining sector.
Now, we acknowledge that we have a war in our hands. And as a judiciary, we want to enhance the capacity of our judges in the enforcement of various legislations in relation to the mining sector. So many legislations have been passed with so many amendments, and it is the expectation of the people of Ghana that we are able to enforce the laws in order to protect our Commonwealth and our environment.
The collaboration between the Ghana Chamber of Mines and the judiciary marks a significant step towards restoring legal integrity in mining prosecutions and promoting sustainable mining practices across Ghana's key mining regions. Irama Smith, TV3 News, Takoradi.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences, GAS, is calling on the government of Ghana to immediately repeal the Environmental Protection Forest Regulations 2022 LI 2462 and issue a binding presidential policy that permanently prohibits all forms of mining in Ghana's forest reserves. In a strongly worded petition addressed to the President and Parliament, GAS condemned the government's recent move to amend only one clause of the LI Regulation 3, Clause 2, instead of fulfilling its public commitment to revoke the entire legislative instrument. GAS described LI 2462 as a legal, environmental and constitutional failure, pointing out that it allows mining in ecologically sensitive areas by giving unlawful discretionary powers to the minister and the president, powers which the 1992 Constitution reserves for the Minerals Commission and Parliament. The Academy also noted Ghana's dismissal record on mining enforcement and warned that legitimizing mining in forest reserves would only deepen environmental degradation and worsen climate vulnerabilities. Let's look at the key demands from GASTU government. They're asking for the total repeal of LI 2462, not just the removal of the regulation 3 clause 2. They are also asking for a firm and binding presidential policy that prohibits all mining, exploration, prospecting, and extraction in all forest reserves as well. And GAS is also saying that they want the immediate termination of all mining and prospecting activities currently taking place.
Let's go to one of our headline stories for you this evening, and there was quite a heated conversation in Parliament where the Electoral Commission has been fielding questions and says it is not considering a rerun of the Ablekuma North parliamentary elections until all processes involved in the recollation exercise is exhausted. The Commission has come under intense scrutiny following its failure to declare results months after the elections and denying constituents of their fair representation in Parliament. Deputy Commissioner Dr. Bosman Asare appeared in Parliament on Thursday to brief the House on the fallout of the 2024 general elections. And so let's listen to some of the key issues that transpired on the floor of Parliament today.
The coalition should continue, whilst the other party stated that there should be rerun in 37 polling stations. To conclude, the coalition process in Ablekuma North has been very, very transparent, participatory and accountable. The agents of the MPP and the NDC have always been present throughout the coalition, as well as the media. The evidence of what transpired from the 9th of December were captured by the media, and this shows a transparent process devoid of bias, and it was open. The parties agreed to the use of scan sheets and their agents approved of them. Mr. Speaker, this has been the process so far, and the evidence exists with all the major media houses that covered the coalition. Mr. Speaker, the coalition has been transparent. As a commission, we are desirous of ensuring that the people of Ablekuma North have a representation in Parliament. We urge this Honourable House to assist us in getting the support of the Ghana Police Service to provide the requisite protection to enable us to complete this coalition exercise. Thank you very much.
Right, so let's now go to the phone lines now and speak to a fellow at the Ghana Center for Democratic Development, Dr. John Osaikwapo. Doctor, very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us.
As well.
Where does all of these disagreements, so maybe I should just put this out that the minority and the majority all had a say on the issue, but listening to what the Deputy Commissioner of the EC tell Parliament and by extension the country, he says that there is no plan of a re-election or organizing re-election. Do you think they should actually consider that?
Well, so good evening to you. From what I am picking up, in the EC's estimation, that the issue they are dealing with is not so much the integrity of the ballot and the balloting process or even the election that took place in Ablekuma North, despite all of the challenges that they faced. But rather the issue they're dealing with is a security issue in a way that enables them to collate the results from the constituency. If my understanding is also correct, there are some pink sheets from the constituency that are missing. And so, two thoughts. One, if it is a security issue, is there a way of working with the political parties, the Ghana Police Service, and provide the EC with that assurance and necessary security so the coalition can be completed, if the results, a winner declared, and if there are aggrieved parties, subject that grievance to the courts for redress. If it's a ballot integrity issue, right, that pink sheets are missing from however many polling stations in the constituency, if in the estimation of the EC and even the political parties, that those missing pink sheets can affect the outcome of the election in Ablikuma North, then I would agree with those who say that let's have a rerun, even if not across the entire constituency, at least at those polling stations whose record of the vote as captured by the pink sheet is not available. But I would like to see I would want to see the process first completed, in terms of addressing the security issues collate, and if there are still integrity issues about the outcome, that perhaps it is not a true reflection of what happened in Ablikuma North, then we can think of whether we want to rerun the election or not.
Right. Doc, but that should actually be quite surprising, isn't it? That is the Electoral Commission saying that we are such a lawless group of Ghanaians that for one constituency, 6 months down the line, they've not been able to get enough security from the Ghana Police Service to whether recollate or just declare a winner of a constituency. That's quite concerning, isn't it?
Yes, extremely concerning. Of course, during, in the immediate aftermath of the 2024 election, we saw some of the scenes at the collation centers where party supporters had amassed and all of that. But even that, right, and we saw some isolated incidents of disruptive behavior, but not on the scale that marked the entire exercise. So it is very surprising that 6 months later, the EC does not feel that they can get the necessary security from the Ghana Police Service to be able to do this collation for Ablikuma North. I honestly think that our security services are capable enough, regardless of whatever tensions may arise or whatever, amassing at a collation center that partisan supporters of political parties would want to engage in. The security service is capable of providing that security. So I'm still not sure why 6 months later the security issue continues to dominate the concerns of the Electoral Commission.
Right. And Doc, briefly and finally, we saw that a few weeks ago, the minority side of Parliament went to petition the IGP to provide security for the same constituency election. Again, the EC is in Parliament, pleading with Parliament to help them undertake the whether declaration or recollation or re-election, whichever they choose to do. How should Parliament respond? What kind of assistance can Parliament give? Briefly.
I think all that Parliament can do is to make that request formally to the Security Service, especially the Ghana Police Service, and impress upon them. Because at the end of the day, it is the Ghana Police Service that would actually have to fight that security. Parliament can only add its voice and make a strong request to the Ghana Police Service. Beyond that, I don't see what else Parliament can do in providing the security that the EC keeps saying it needs to be able to do the needed for Ablikuma North.
Thank you so much for your time and thoughts on this subject. Dr. John Osai-Kwapong is a fellow with CDD.
Also, some members of parliament from the minority New Patriotic Party visited the former Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, at his office to show their support behind him as the party prepares for its presidential primaries early next year. It is anticipated that Dr. Bawumia will contest to lead the party into the 2028 general elections. The MPs held a closed-door meeting with the former Vice President, giving him their support following reports of other key party members declaring their intentions to run for the flag bearer slot. The NPP has scheduled January 31, 2026 to hold its presidential flag bearer elections. Dr. Bawumia led the NPP to its worst defeat in the 2024 elections and is seeking a comeback. He spoke to the media right after the meeting.
Visit our members of parliament. I think that it was a very happy visit to be a courtesy call, and it's a call to declare support for me And I am so happy in terms of the group that have declared support for me from Parliament. Now amounts to just over 60 members of Parliament. And you know we have 88 members of Parliament. And so that tells you that a very significant number of members of Parliament have declared their support for me. And I just want to use this opportunity to thank all of them. The leader of the group here is Amprachu, who coordinated this, the MP for Bampo. And I believe that this is going to be very, very important because the members of Parliament, as you know, control the constituencies to a large extent. And I'm very, very happy for exactly what they have done today. It's a strong show of support, and I thank them and I thank God for this strong show of support. And off we go. There's a lot of hard work to be done so that we can help the party and help the country.
We definitely will keep you posted on how the internal politics of the NPP do play out in the coming days. To some other stories. Now, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, says Ghana has not received any official notification from the United States barring Ghanaians from traveling to the U.S. Answering questions on the floor of Parliament, the minister also said Ghana's mission in Tehran and Israel have been closed temporarily due to the war between the two countries.
As the conflict between Iran and Israel intensifies, borders remained sealed, but Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa says his outfit is focused on diplomatic engagement to secure the necessary authorizations for the safe evacuation of Ghanaians.
We've had to close our mission in Tehran because of what is happening between Israel and Iran. In Israel as well, the Israeli foreign minister has urged governments to ask their staff, foreign mission staff, to stay at home. So if you go to Tel Aviv today, our embassy is not open, but it doesn't mean we have withdrawn from the country. So there's a distinction, and I just want to clarify that.
On the speculation that Ghanaians will not be allowed to travel to the United States, Okudzeto-Ablakwa said no official notification has been received to that effect.
A lot of reports about some looming ban on Ghanaians that we will not be able to travel to the States, we are going to be banned and all of that. Let me state, there is a house of record, that Ghana has not been officially notified that we are going to be placed on any prohibition list or on any ban where our citizens cannot travel to the United States. At this point, all of that is speculation. But as a proactive minister, I can assure honorable members that we are having high-level engagement. I have asked that we want to be assured that those leaks, because according to the US media, those were leaks that they intercepted, internal memos. We want to be assured that there's really no merit. And so far, I can tell the people of Ghana that there is no cause for alarm. That is what we are receiving from our partners in Washington.
Moving away from that, the Tema Metropolitan Assembly says it is working with the National Disaster Management Organization and relief agencies to provide emergency support to victims of a devastating fire in the industrial area. The blaze, which broke out late on Wednesday night, tore through the enclave, destroying more than 500 commercial and residential structures. My colleague Christian Yale has been to the scene and filed this report.
This is how it all began. Thick, dark smoke curling into the night sky as flames tore through what was once a vibrant community. By Thursday morning, I arrived to find scenes of total devastation. Homes and businesses reduced to charred debris with traces of lives and livelihoods wiped away.
Even before I came to the hot zone, I heard a loud explosion, and the only thing I told myself is, why? It's a full tanker parked here. But then when I got here, looking at the situation, I noticed the explosion I heard was from an LPG cylinder. So that also didn't help the situation. Mike can estimate approximately about 500 structures gone down. We've done much. We're able to mobilize 7 fire engines to the scene, and we're able to contain the situation.
Business owners looked on in disbelief while others searched through the ashes for anything to salvage.
We
could not salvage any of our belongings. Everything we built for ourselves is gone. We plead for immediate help.
Fire officers managed to contain the blaze, preventing it from spreading to nearby buildings. An investigation is now underway to determine the cause.
The actual cause of the fire is unknown. We are still doing an analysis to know the root cause of the incident. With regards to redevelopment of the area, we'll engage other stakeholders and see if there will be the need to redevelop. The best redevelopment strategy will be implemented to ensure that even such things may not occur in the future.
He rejected claims that the first fire tender to arrive at the scene had insufficient water.
A fire of this nature at its fully developed stage cannot be handled by just one fire engine. That's why the OIC of the initial crew, of the first crew, quickly mobilized additional fire engines to the scene. Getting direct access to the scene was a bit of a problem.
With little left to recover, the Tema Metropolitan Assembly says relief efforts are being intensified to support those affected. Officials from the National Disaster Management Organization are currently registering victims and assessing the extent of the damage.
Our hearts go out for the affected victims. We work out a package for them just to bring some comfort, and then going forward we'll have a proper assessment of the situation and see the way forward.
This is a trail of destruction that was never seen coming, but it has dealt a heavy blow to residents who are occupants of this section of the Tema industrial area. And you realize that this has also become an opportunity for scrap dealers who are making good use of the remains. And so you see this scale, for instance, that is being used to measure the weight of these scraps so that they are able to remit the corresponding amount to occupants of these particular blocks within which they are gathering these items. They are only calling for help, and if there is any help, it should come now, right now for them. Christian Yale, TV3 News, Tema Heavy Industrial Area.
The National Road Safety Authority and the Ayawaso West Municipal Assembly have destroyed more than 100 billboards mounted in the medians of principal streets in the capital. The billboards were deemed to be obstructing traffic flow and posing safety risks to road users.
Political and commercial billboards erected by corporate individuals for advertisement within medians of major roads were pulled down by a joint team from the National Road Safety Authority and the Ayawaso West Municipal Assembly. According to the National Road Safety Authority, these billboards, mounted in various sizes and clustered at different locations, mainly obstruct traffic flow, endanger the lives of road users at night, and degrade the aesthetics of the environment. Most of the billboards were destroyed in East Legon, where advertisers failed to obtain the required licenses from the Municipal Assembly. A task force from the Ayawaso West Municipal Assembly has since collected the metals as scrap. The Acting Director General of the National Road Safety Authority, Abraham Amaliba, insisted that the exercise was deliberate and necessary.
These billboards are a great danger to road users, motorists and pedestrians alike. And we at Road Safety, our responsibility is to ensure that the roads are safe.
He announced that individuals and agencies responsible for mounting the billboards in the medians will face prosecution. Amaliba further indicated that advertisers can consult the National Road Safety Authority for approved road billboard specifications when planning to mount future billboards.
So what they can do is to come to the Road Safety, we'll give them the specification, they go to the District Assembly, and the District Assembly will give them certification. But the medians are a no-go area.
Director in charge of regulation, inspection and compliance at the National Road Safety Authority, Kwame Kodua, corroborated the information and added that advertisements on footbridges and pedestrian overpasses are criminalized. This joint operation highlights the authority's commitment to ensuring safer and more orderly road environments in the capital. By enforcing regulations on roadside advertisements, the National Road Safety Authority and municipal assemblies aim to reduce traffic hazards and improve the city's visual appeal, while encouraging advertisers to adhere to lawful and safe advertising practices. Stanley Niblew, TV3 News, Accra.
And now, GOIL PLC has held its 56th annual general meeting, reporting strong profits and outlining bold plans for the future. Despite global economic challenges, the company says it is staying focused on growth, innovation, and regional relevance.
GOIL PLC has held its 56th annual general meeting, AGM, where the company reported a strong financial year despite global economic uncertainty. The AGM brought together shareholders, management and stakeholders to reflect on achievements and chart the way forward. In 2024, GOIL delivered a consolidated profit of 84.7 million Ghana cedis, a 54.82% increase from the previous year. The company attributes this growth to prudential financial management, strong marketing and operational efficiency, even in the face of inflation and a volatile exchange rate environment. Since assuming office as managing director, Edward Bambire Bawa says his focus has been on not only competing locally, but positioning for long-term relevance across the sub-region.
We need to take over in terms of our market share. We need to be the leading OMC. We must ensure that in the spirit of this green transition, that GOIL adapts to the new innovations that are coming.
The company also highlighted its key milestones.
GOIL SMB bitumen plant in Tema was officially inaugurated in September 2024 and has since commenced operation. And I'm happy to say that early traction from local contractors indicates promising potential. We are optimistic about the plant's long-term commercial and strategic returns.
On the CSR front, GOIL constructed 7 mechanized boreholes and donated over 4,700 pints of blood through a nationwide health campaign. Looking ahead, GOIL's Group CEO and MD says 2025 will focus on expanding automation, investing in gas systems, and embedding innovation and technology into its corporate DNA.
We will be able to ensure that share value increases. And last but not the least, maybe in the next year when we come for AGM, we should be able to also declare dividends and increase on that. I think that the strategies have already started. Indeed, one of the first things we need to do is begin to start sourcing products from sources that are cheaper, because it is only when you have competitive ex-refinery prices that would also impact on the ex-pump prices in terms of the outlets.
You're still watching News 360 on TV3. Benoit Follis on standby to bring us business news. Do stay with us.
Brought to you by MTN. Touch concentrated perfume.
Thank you for staying with us. Menu Afo has joined us with some business news. Menu, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
What do you have for us?
Well, we've seen that our economy has experienced some gains in the past weeks.
Yeah.
But experts are saying that we're not out of the woods yet.
So we should be cautious.
Yes.
Cautious optimism.
Okay. So we have details and many more stories coming up.
Take it away.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the business segment on News360. I am Menu Afo. Now, financial experts largely agree that Ghana's economic fundamentals are currently pointing in a positive direction. Recent data indicates a consumer inflation rate of 18.4% and a producer price inflation of 10.2% as of May 2025, while the economy expanded by 4.8% in the first quarter. Despite these encouraging signs and a recent credit-worthy rating of B- with a stable outlook by Fitch, experts caution that the country is not out of the woods yet.
Challenges such as the ongoing need for fiscal adjustments and the pressures of a post-crisis recovery still require careful management. According to CEO of Dalex Finance, Joe Jackson, risks such as potential delays in finalizing debt restructuring agreements, possible slippage in fiscal discipline, and vulnerability to external shocks like commodity price fluctuations could still pose challenges.
That affirmation is good and should be heartwarming for all of us. But at the same time, a word of caution. This is only a rating. It doesn't mean that Ghana is still not broke. It does not mean that our debts are not horrendous. Energy sector debt could kill us. That inflation still needs some work in order to bring it down to single digits. It does not mean that the government can go out on a spending binge. It just means that to date, we are doing the right thing.
As Ghana continues its path towards economic recovery, Head of Finance at Melbourne Capital, Nelson Kujo Kwagbaji, suggests that an extension of the country's current IMF Extended Credit Facility program may be beneficial.
Since the beginning of the year, most of the macro and fiscal economic indicators have turned green. The fundamentals of the economy are strong, and that government is making gains as far as management of the economy is concerned. I want to encourage the government to extend the IMF program by 1 year in order to fully consolidate the gains that we have made.
The experts urge government and the Bank of Ghana to remain committed to fiscal consolidation and maintaining a firm monetary policy stance to further stabilize the economy and solidify the positive gains.
Meanwhile, global rating agency Fitch has outlined conditions that could trigger a downgrade of Ghana's newly upgraded credit rating, warning that renewed liquidity pressures, weak fiscal reforms, and falling reserves could undermine the country's debt repayment ability. This comes shortly after Fitch improved Ghana's rating to B- with a stable outlook, citing some progress in macroeconomic reforms under the IMF program.
Latest from global credit ratings agency Fitch Ratings points to potential threats to Ghana's improved sovereign rating just days after the country earned a credit upgrade to B- with a stable outlook. The UK-based firm says the upgrade reflects progress in fiscal and economic reforms, but warns of several risk factors that could reverse this trend. Top among them are renewed liquidity pressures, possibly due to weaker fiscal consolidation, or rising contingent liabilities that could undermine the government's ability to meet its debt obligations. Fitch also flagged reduced confidence in Ghana's capacity to refinance maturing debt, especially if efforts to reopen the local currency bond market stall. On the external front, Ghana faces vulnerability to falling international reserves, particularly if current account deficits widen. On the upside, Fitch notes that sustained debt reduction under a credible medium-term fiscal strategy and a build-up of reserves closer to peers could support a future upgrade. Meanwhile, the country's ceiling remains at B-, indicating no significant restrictions on capital transfers, but Ghana scored poorly on political stability under Fitch's ESG assessments due to governance weaknesses.
Away from that, Fidelity Bank Ghana is rolling out an auto mortgage fair aimed at making home and car ownership more accessible to Ghanaians. The event will bring together top auto dealers, real estate developers, and financial experts to offer tailored financing solutions and exclusive deals.
Bank Ghana is setting the stage for a one-of-a-kind auto mortgage fair, a customer-driven event that merges the worlds of auto and real estate. The fair is a 3-day event which will feature a lineup of Ghana's leading auto dealers and real estate developers, offering visitors exclusive access to flexible mortgage and vehicle financing options. Attendees will also engage directly with banking executives and industry experts through interactive sessions designed to simplify the path to home and car ownership. Fidelity says the initiative is part of its broader commitment to helping Ghanaians achieve their financial dreams. Addressing the media, the Divisional Director for Retail Banking at Fidelity Bank, Nana Esi Aidan Ackerst, highlighted the purpose of the event and its impact on customers and Ghanaians.
We have been offering mortgages and auto loans for quite some time, but we realize that our customers really struggle when they are looking for vehicles or homes to buy. It's a long process to go through to find the right vehicle or home that matches what they are looking for before we then come and start the mortgage process. So we thought that as a key player and as the biggest indigenous bank, we saw the opportunity in this challenge and said we want to create a platform that brings everybody together. Us as a bank, together with the vendors in the space, insurance companies, and then provide a seamless platform and opportunity for our customers to come and have the opportunity to identify vehicles and homes of their choice, and on the spot provide the financing and special deals and offers for them. So for us, it's a really important gap we are filling as a bank in terms of creating this seamless one-stop shop marketplace for vehicles and home ownership in Ghana.
In the name of God the Father, the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, everybody say amen. Oh, this is beautiful right here.
Time now to take a look at how the city is faring against major trading currencies and how some of our key commodities are also faring on the global market. And that's how we wrap our business tonight on News 360. I am Menu. Our full sports news is up next. Please stay with us.
insecticide spray and coil.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360 with me, Oreku Ampofo. Let's start off from Ghana defender Jonas Adjetey, who over the last few months became a crucial part of FC Basel's league triumph and also featured for the Black Stars. In an exclusive interview with the defender, my colleague Billy Shen explores his inspiration and eventual stint with the national team.
Born in a family of 4, Jonas Adjetey's love for football was evident at a young age, often playing with friends on the streets of Teshi. He began his journey as a goalkeeper, but a long conversation with his late father convinced him to pick a different position. The FC Basel star chose the centre-back role and spent most of his free time watching videos of Liverpool captain Virgil van Dijk. For the 21-year-old, the Dutchman's story fuels his drive for success.
I watched so much into his situation and then his stories, and then he's a little bit like also struggling a little bit how to wash bowls and other stuffs. So I took it to myself, okay, I looked up to him and then I just try and become someone like him.
Following impressive performances with his club in the Swiss League, Adjetey earned his first call-up to the Black Stars in the first set of AFCON qualifiers against Angola and Niger. However, the centre-back had to withdraw as he was battling with an injury.
And then I had to go for a surgery and other stuff, which was good. I started to play and then it was like a stress fracture. Yeah. I had a little bit stress fracture. And then I was thinking, okay, why shouldn't I stay and then treat it to the maximum before I go to the national team? Because when I go, I'm going to travel back and forth, which is going to put more pressure on that same spot.
His setback did not deter him though. After regaining fitness, he worked his way back into Otoado's plans, eventually getting his debut against Sudan at the Martyrs of February Stadium in Libya. It was a moment he will not forget in a hurry.
You know, the nation, the Black Stars, when you are playing for the colors, you know, it's a great feeling to play for the colors, you know. And then when you are playing, you have to have it at the back of your mind that there's someone also watching you. So, a bit timid or tense a little bit, but it's just like the same feeling up there, you know. So I just put everything behind me and just go and deliver. Just do what I'm expected, that's all.
With his sights firmly set on cementing his place in the Black Stars and making an impact in Europe, the young defender is only just getting started. As he continues to rise, the echoes of his late father's advice and the dreams of a boy who once played barefoot on the streets remain the driving force behind every tackle, every header, and every step forward.
Well, before we go, let's just get updates from the Club World Cup where Inter Miami are currently trailing FC Porto by 1-0. It's halftime in that one. Earlier matches saw Palmeiras in the same group beat Al Ahly to go top of Group A, whilst at midnight, Juventus were just too strong for Al Ain. Later, there's a match between Seattle Sounders and Atletico Madrid as well. You can get more matches and updates on our social media handles at 3Sports. GH, my name is Oreku Ampofo.
In entertainment news tonight, we bring you some exciting entertainment tidbits from around the world, including the release of the highly anticipated Rising Star album by the talented finalist of Mentor 13.
When did our lives become so complicated? Growing up sucks. When's the last time any of you?
Renowned Ghanaian filmmaker Shirley Frimpong Manso has pushed back against claims that the country's movie industry is dead. In a recent interview, Shirley said the sector still holds great potential but suffers from a lack of local investment and support. She contrasted Ghana's situation with Nigeria's thriving Nollywood, attributing their success to deliberate investment in infrastructure and funding. Shirley stressed that Ghana has talented actors and storytellers but lacks national commitment to the creative arts. Highlighting her international success as proof of Ghana's cinematic potential, she urged the government, private sector and media to play more active roles in supporting the industry. Actress and producer Juliet Ibrahim has been named the inaugural president of Women in Film and Television Ghana, WIFT Ghana, marking a major milestone for the women in the country's creative industry. In her announcement, she called the role of a powerful moment for women across Africa's film, TV and digital media spaces. WIFT Ghana joins the global WIFT network and WIFT Africa, aiming to empower women through mentorship, collaboration and industry opportunities. Juliet emphasized her commitment to supporting youth, storytellers and female innovators. The wait is finally over. The highly anticipated Rising Star album is officially here. This powerful 12-track project, crafted by the talented finalists of Mentor 13, showcases a dynamic blend of sounds and stories. Featuring standout tracks like Heavy Lover, Lose My Mind, Call Me, and more, the album is a true celebration of emerging talent. Rising Star is now available on major streaming platforms. Discover the future of music. Listen now.
Time now for international news.
A controversial South African opposition MP central to a row over race relations in the country has been denied entry to the UK. The Home Office said Julius Malema had been deemed non-conducive to the public good and that it was undesirable to grant him entry. In a letter published by local media outlet News360, the UK government cited his vocal support for Hamas, including a speech he made after the 7th October attacks, in which he said his own party would arm the group if it came into power. The UK said he had threatened to call for the slaughter of white people and to take up arms, and also cited this as a reason for rejecting his visa request. His Economic Freedom Fighters Party, which came forth in South Africa's parliamentary election last year, condemned the decision as cowardice and said it would stifle democratic debate.
And that's it for our package this evening. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey.
And I am Ayisha Yakubu. Good evening.